It's been a long time since 1962, but now we're seeing people in Cuba start to protest, saying down with dictatorship. Are you getting that spark back? Do you feel hopeful?
He never lost that spark. I mean, since he left, I think there hasn't been a day that's passed that he hasn't thought about, the cause of bringing freedom back to Cuba. And he every single day that I can remember, every single chance that he's had, he has dedicated his life here to that fight for freedom in Cuba, whether it's through his Cuban Civic Committee where they put on events throughout the year to raise money. But I mean, there was tons of stuff that he's been doing. So to answer your question, there was no spark that needed to come back. It was the fire has always been burning since the day he left.
And
there's more hope now. Then,
if I understand your question, is what is my reaction? Well, is a reaction of sadness that people had no other chance of surviving than living day by day and could not really free themselves because they, in my case, okay, I had no problem in being in the underground. It was for me great. I didn't have anything, didn't have no security, I wasn't afraid of anything, didn't even know that I was in danger. But I never had a son that would go to bed without milk. I never had a mother that was dying with no medical services. I was a young, healthy Cuban doing whatever he needed. He learned in a school. As I said, I had the pleasure of having had a better education than the economic situation of my parents could afford. But we didn't have a car. We live in a middle class neighborhood, lower middle class, not bad. In El Cerro was okay. And I had a good standard of living. But people today had not been able to do what I did because they had responsibility with their families I didn't have. There are many young people that don't have families, but they needed to survive on a day to day. They never took. For me was not a process of not being able to eat or to find food to fight. I fought and then I had no food, and I didn't give. I don't want to say that word. Okay, never felt hungry. I on the contrary, I always felt okay. And then my friends will come, and one will say one day, "Oh, what shoe size you wear?" Because he saw holes on my shoes. I was sitting in a bench in Parque Central, waiting for Alejandro Moreno Maya, one of the guys that was with me the day that I jumped out of a car when they were taking me to prison. And Alejandro Maya looked at my shoes and said, "What size do you wear?" Okay, so next week I am in the Parque Central de La Habana waiting for him again, and he comes laughing with a box of shoes, new shoes for me. And I didn't even know I didn't have, but I didn't even care about the shoes that I have. But today, and the revolution has been able to control the Cuban people by scarcity, by hunger, by starvation. But there is a breaking point for people too. I would like to talk, I don't want to forget, write it there. I want to talk about the Cuban program in Hanoi during the Vietnam War.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But now the people have suffered so much that I think they are in a catatonic state. They don't give nothing about what happens now. They are willing to risk it now. They have nothing to lose.
Now Castro's dead, and his brother Raul, is he dead?
No, he's alive.
Is he in control?
But he's not.
He wasn't, and he relinquished.
He designated Diaz-Canel president. He's
Miguel
still there.
Diaz-Canel is now the acting president and face of the regime in Cuba now.
Is he willing to give it up?
No.
Oh, no. He's
actually,
a bureaucrat. He's a bureaucrat. He has power. He did nothing for the revolution. He didn't fight Batista. He did nothing. He just was, a good He absorbed the theory of Marxism. He lives in a huge mansion with swimming pool. Do you think he's going to give up that?
His actual, he was addressing, I saw a video, he's addressing people about the protests, and his exact words were, if they want to face off with the revolution, they're going to have to walk over our dead bodies. So, his answer is, he gave an order for combat in the streets. We're going to go to the streets, and we're going to...
He said he called on the revolutionary citizens to fight back.
Yep.
It's amazing how they refer to themselves as the revolution when they've been the dictators for decades, generations.
Dictators and traitors. They are traitors to the revolution. And by the way, when we use the word revolution, really, it was not a revolution with social or nothing on. It was a movement to get rid of a dictator that we have for 7 years and go back to what we were, not jumping with ideas and plans and things that never happened or that were never achieved their things, like the stories of the chickens in the farms. Fidel said, we're going to start with this farm, we're going to have so many chickens, and then, and we're going to have 100 million chickens here soon. And there were no chickens, and nothing appeared, and nothing happened. Do you understand?
The command economies don't work. I mean, we saw it with Mao when he said, "Kill all the birds, kill all the pests," and then they destroyed their ability to farm. Yeah. All of a sudden, the locusts came and started sweeping across China.
No, farmers in Cuba now are starving. They are not allowed to sell what they can produce. They're not allowed to produce. Everything has to be controlled by the government. Everything has to go through them. This is why I say, please, Americans, open your eyes. Cuba doesn't need food. Cuba doesn't need humanitarian aid. Cuba needs to get rid of the dictatorship that will absorb anything you send over there.
Yep.
Nobody in the streets is saying, I want food, I want a vaccine against COVID. No. They want freedom. They know it's the only thing.
Well, what can America do?
Well, Americans should get involved in that. I think that the American government should help us at this time. Do you know what happened in 1961 with the invasion of Iran?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There were, in Miami, as young Cubans began to go from Havana, from Cuba to Miami, in Miami, when they knew they were going to prepare a force to fight, they all started to volunteer.
Also known as a Bay of Pigs.
That's right.
Oh, yes. Right.
Okay. They started to volunteer and they wanted to go to Cuba to liberate Cuba. But then Kennedy changed the plans. And Kennedy was told, but listen, what do we do with the 1,500 Cubans that want to go? And then his advisor said, well, Mr. President, they want to go to Cuba. They want to go to fight. And then he said, okay, send them. But no air coverage. No support. That was like sending the best of the Cuban youth in exile to die. This country has to pay us back. Because after that, you know what has happened in 62 years. We Cubans expect the United States to behave like the United States maybe in the 50s. I don't know. I don't know when to go back. Okay? But I do know that the United States had a prestige, an international prestige, that we Cubans were in love with the American dream, that we were living in our own country, and that we relieved when ours ended and we came here looking to establish, a new life. I came looking for something different, to tell you the truth.
In Miami, this past election, there was a safe Democrat district in an urban center. Mm-hmm. No one saw this coming. The Republican got elected. Mm-hmm. The continuing pushes from the far left, the Marxists, Black Lives Matter groups, is turning many of these, in like South Texas, for instance, and in Florida, it's turning Democrat areas into Republican areas. And it very likely because, especially in Miami, obviously, the people who know the horrors of socialism and communism are seeing that within the United States and pushing back against it. So perhaps that's a sign of hope for us here, that we won't let it happen. And I wonder if people in the United States are willing to do anything to help Cuba. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.